Hello, and welcome to the final presentation of our project MovieTalk. My team's name is Codewalkers. My name is Mehta. I'll be taking you through this presentation. Let's start off with value proposition. In the milestone 1, we gave a value proposition as our project being a movie recommendation website that provides excellent content and the ability to search a platform to recommend, review, and rate them for serious movie enthusiasts, for those who are unhappy with Movie Lens or IMDb. Keeping this in mind, we've structured and planned our project development as such that we achieve these goals specifically. So our value proposition has indeed become our introduction, and we indeed are a movie recommendation website with an ability to recommend, review, and rate for users that are serious movie enthusiasts. Next, we also promised on certain deliverables which we were successful in completing and achieving. Some of these deliverables are login and registration, personalized movie recommendation for the user depending on the recommendations that he has given and the reviews that he has given. An ability to search and filter movies based on title and language. An average rating that is calculated using various factors such as the reviews, the ratings, and the recommendations. The ability to follow other users and to see what they like, what they don't like, followed by an ability to review, rate, and recommend movies. All of this, of course, includes the CRUD operations for all classes such as reviews, recommendations, users, etc. So let's take a look at UML diagram. A UML diagram consists of various important classes such as user, reviews, recommendations, booking, theater, movie. User has followers as well as followees, where they can follow or get followed by a particular user to see what they like and don't like. This is represented by composition relationship. Next, there's reviews and recommendation, where it is related to both the user as well as the movie, as each user, like a user could have a review for the movie. A user could also have a recommendation for the movie. The review and recommendation class are different because the review will contain the content as well as the rating, whereas the recommendation will only contain the user ID and the movie ID. The user could also have credit cards for easier transaction. A user can also book tickets. The booking class contains the booking info, the show info, the booking time, the number of guests, which is used to further book tickets for a particular show, which is contained in the show info. The show info would contain the theater, the movie, the timing, and the price. The theater type would contain the theater name, the location, and the type of theater. It could be IMAX, standard, RPX, or 3D. Next, we have the movie class, where the movie class would contain the movie name, the overview, the release date, the language, genre, runtime, and country. This will help our users greatly when they are filtering and sorting through specific genres they like or don't like. So that's going to be all for me. Next, my teammate will pick up from here.
We'll go through the user login and profile management system for our application. This is the landing page. Let's register a user. When the user is successfully registered, we'll get a successful message. Now let's try to log in with that user. As we can see, that user login is successful, and let's see the profile of the user. Here we can see all the user information and who are following him and who the user is following and all his information. uh, Now let's add a credit cards to his profile so that he can use later. So here we can see uh, there's a system in place to add credit card. We'll give the credit card number and the expiration date, and we'll add. Once we add, we can come back and check out that the credit card is added successfully. You can add as many credit cards as you want. If once successfully added, you will be able to see the credit cards. The credit card number is unique and it's the primary key, so you can only add a single credit card for that user, which is unique. Now we'll try to go to the profile page, and we'll go to home page. Here we have a search bar. We can search other users and pull up their profile. We can see that we pulled up a profile, and this user is following 2 people and he has 2 followers. As we saw in our profile, that the current user is not following anyone and there are no followers to him. What we can do is we can go to home page and we can search a user. Now let's search other user with proper profile fields. So now we can confirm that this is the user with his email ID and name and everything. So he has 1 follower. What we'll do, we'll follow this user. Once successful, we'll see this message. Now we can go back to our profile and see that we are following 1 person. So now we'll log out and we'll try to follow our demo user through the profile. Now let's search our demo user. You can see that our information is pulled up here, and now we'll follow our demo user. Once successful, we can go to the profile and we can see that this user is following 1 person and he has 2 followers. One among them is our demo user. Now we'll log out and confirm that there is a follower for demo user. As you can, now when we go to the profile, as you can see, there's other user who is following us and we are following some other user. This will give the count of the followers we have. And then what we can do is, if we don't want this account, we can just delete it. Once successfully deleted, we'll navigate out of the application and we'll land to the login page again. If we try to log in, it should give us a error saying that user does not exist. As we can see, the user is not found and he is deleted from the system.
Hi, this is Nikitha. I'll be showing you the admin capabilities on this system, as well as when a user wants to search for a movie by movie name, how would he be able to do it on the system. So basically, an admin can perform all create, read, update, and delete operations on users, movies, theaters, recommendations, credit cards, show info, and reviews, which basically means he can control all the entire system, all the entities of all the system of the entire system. So I will start off by showing you a demo of how an admin would do all his operations. So when you log in, the system would look something like this, and admin would now log in to the system by providing a username and password. Once you log in, the admin will be redirected to this page, which is his dashboard, wherein he can actually view the list of all the users present in the system. Along with this, in the menu bar, he'll be able to see users, credit cards, movies, theaters, recommendations, show times, and reviews, and of course, logout. So all the operations he wants to perform on the system, he can do it by going to the particular link and using the operations present. For example, if he wants to search for a user by username, he can just search for the user by providing a username and pressing a submit button. This would give you the user who he searched for. Now, suppose he wants to update a user. I want to update the user Nikki. So it goes to an update page and I provide a new last name. Do a submit. And once you go back, you can see the last name of Nikki has been updated to Nagaraj. So this is how one of the CRUD operations, two of the CRUD operations can be performed on users. So let's go and create a new movie. So here you can as well create a new movie by providing an ID, movie name, say DBMS, overview, this is a movie, country, language, English, genre, action, and submit. Done. Now you go back, you can see that a new movie has been created. Now if the user wants to search by a language, he can just do so by searching for the language here. Since both of them are English, it shows both the movies. And if you provide any other movie which does not exist, it gives that no movie is available. So now, if another operation the user can perform, the admin can perform is delete entities. So if I want to delete this entity, the user will be deleted. And you successfully deleted the movie, and the movie gets deleted. In this way, we can perform all CRUD operations for all the entities present in the menu bar. So I showed you users as well as movies. The same thing applies to credit cards, wherein right now we have 2 credit cards, and we can do CRUD operations and search by username, and search by username and create credit cards. And then you can create recommendations, update recommendations, view recommendations, etc. So now let me log out of an admin. And now if we want to log in as a user, okay, now if I want to search for a movie by movie name, so I just select movie and I put a movie name, say DBMS, and search. Now there's no movie with that name. So let's see the movie which we just created. It was DB. Now we see that the movie is listed of what we created. So in this way, we can search for movies by movie name in the system. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Harsha Rahul. I am one of the teammates in the project, and I'll be explaining to you some other use cases which we've done. They're one of the other use cases is like where the system actually recommends movies to the users based on his recommendations and uh, review usage, and this is like one of the crux of our uh, movie recommendation system, which we can say, because here we're trying to show what each how every user together, when they review, when they rate, how the users affect the recommendations of each other user, and how each user's behavior of recommending each movie will change his own recommendations. So, uh, so one of the backbones for to achieve this was like we used some basic triggers to auto update our database. So I can show the triggers to you. Here, the triggers are nothing but we're trying to actually do a trigger on update, uh, uh, delete, and insert. So basically, what we're trying to do is whenever there is an update, insert or delete on a review, so we try to get a review for the movie and also try to compute the average reviews for the movie. So, for example, one user reviews a movie very bad and he gives a rating 1, and the other one actually likes it and he says rating is 5. So the average rating becomes 3. So this is being auto computed by the triggers. So every CRUD operation on the reviews automatically triggers an update on the uh, main page on the movie, where the movie database actually gets updated with the uh, average rating. So using that, what we are trying to do is the recommendations is being formed for each and every user. So as every user starts reviewing each and every other movie, the average of the movies actually becomes stronger. And then once when a user actually recommends a movie to another user, what we are trying to do is see whether the user is actually so based on his recommendations we find the genre which he's into, and once we find the genre we'll be able to find the highest rating in that genre upon his recommendations. And from that we are trying to increase, like we are trying to see any other movies in the same genre which are equal or higher than those which are having ratings higher than those his normal recommended movies. So, and we try to recommend those movies to him. So I can show the basic operation. So here, for example, the user logs in, and he sees other this is a dashboard where he, so basically first part is where he can see his recommended movies. So already based on his recommendation history, and also the average reviews, average review rating based on the other review overall reviews, there's a recommended movie for him that is of the genre mystery, and it is having an average rating of 4. That means his recommended average for ratings for a movie is usually around 4, and then so we show genre mystery, and which is above 4, and then I can show you how this actually works. So show all movies. So these are all the movies where he can actually recommend, review, or view the timings for that. So if I go to the movie 1, which is of genre drama, and I try to say recommend, and then I try to say recommend again, I'm just trying to increase the count, so I'm trying to offset the weights. And now if I go back and I say show recommended movies, see, you can see the recommended movies has actually changed, and we are going to, it's changed the genre from mystery to drama, because now he's recommending more of drama. And then so his movies get his recommendations get updated. And then he can also do something like review. He's able to see the review, submit, delete. And then there are show timings where you can see the show timings in which theater it's available and all that. So this is one of the operations which this is one of the recommendation systems where he's able to this is like what we are trying to show. This is like where he's the system actually learns from the history recommendations, and also the system keeps getting updated based on the overall average ratings. As every user updates, gives more and more reviews, the more and more reviews and ratings, the average ratings and the weights offset, and also recommendations also keep changing. There are new recommendations coming in, old recommendations going out. So this is how the recommendation system is formed. And thank you for listening.